One for the kitchen and one for the soul. Today, I have with me someone who believes in this very mantra. He has done his majors in marketing and entrepreneurship and is working as a marketing director and a business development head in his family business that is into healthcare and hygiene called WeCare Meditex Pvt Ltd. And he's also a freelance photographer, marketeer, content writer, and he also DJs and curates playlists of all sorts of genres on Apple Music and Spotify. To know more about him, let me welcome Yash Jhaveri. Hi, Yash. How are you? Welcome to the Unsettling podcast.
Amrita, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure having you. And I've heard a lot about Unsettling podcast. So, like, thought that this would be a good platform to showcase what I am actually and what my journey has been. So, I thought that might as well have a podcast with you and probably begin the journey of inspiring people who want to get into healthcare business as well as into freelancing. So here I am today.
Thank you so much for choosing Unsettling. And definitely, that is what my motto is, to inspire more people to follow their passion. And even if it is as a side hustle, I guess you can do it
Right,
as long as you believe in yourself. So, well,
right.
how has your journey been so far? From a marketing director, business development head to freelance photography, how has your journey been?
So well, I went to management and entrepreneurship college. I graduated in the year 2020. So what happened was that it took a complete turn for me because I have done my majors in marketing and entrepreneurship.
Right.
And post that, COVID struck. I mean, we all know that India was battling COVID, and in 2020 everything just came to a standstill. We were in complete lockdown, shutdown. Everything was baffled. So I just thought that I wanted to obviously study further, and I thought that I would be able to do something. So I thought that it's better that let me get into my dad's business, because my dad was already into the healthcare background, and like he's done his pharma. Basically, he's done his masters in pharmaceuticals, and he's been into the healthcare and the pharma industry since past 30-40 years. So I just thought that might as well let me give my chance, let me give myself a particular chance to do something with my family business.
Mhm.
So I was like, "Ki chalo, let me take this up," because right now everything is in shutdown, in lockdown. There's nothing much to do. Can't go out to study because even outskirts there was all lockdown because of COVID. And here in India also I couldn't apply to any colleges because everything was under a lockdown. So I began my journey in the year 2020, March to be precise, because that's when COVID struck.
Right.
And since then, it's been almost now 2.5 years, and since then I have been working with my father in a family business, and I think I'm really enjoying, because my dad has been an entrepreneur himself. So I've seen him how he's taken the risks, how he's taken decisions. Sometimes he's made mistakes, but sometimes he's also done really good for the family, and he's really done good for himself. So I think that was like one big learning lesson for me, because since I have done my majors in marketing and entrepreneurship, that's where I thought that oh, okay, these things also can be done, and how can I implement if I want to be an entrepreneur. So I
Mhm.
started off my journey as a small intern. Like, I told my dad that, "See, dad, I know that I am your son, and obviously this is our business only, and it's our family business and all. So please don't treat me like your son, that he's come, so let him do whatever he wants and all that. Treat me like an employee only, as an intern. Keep me on, like, small salary basis, so that even I'll be motivated to do things. Like, obviously everyone knows that if you are getting paid for something, you will definitely land up doing it much better, and you will give your 100% into it."
Correct.
So even I was like, "Hello, let me begin," because that time I had completed my college, and I was in my late 20s. So I was like, even in my head, एक वो कीड़ा रहता है कि यार, like, now you are graduated, you are done with college, now let's start earning some money and
Right.
fund ourselves. and also like make our name big and like help our family also in whatever they want. And I think every child's dream is that if whatever their parents have given, to give them double of what they have given you in your life. So even I lived that dream, and I had that dream that somewhere I want to earn money and give my parents what they have been able to give, and probably what they have not been able to do in their lives when they were of our age. So I
Right.
started my journey in 2020. I started off as an intern, like a marketing intern in my own family business. And they like by looking at my dad, by learning from my work environment, from my other employees, my managers, my heads and all, I started gaining that confidence, and I started learning more and more about the healthcare industry, more
Mhm.
about my own products and all that stuff. And then obviously COVID also made me do a lot of, say, cold calling and a lot
Mhm.
of CRM, which is customer relationship management.
Okay.
That's when I even thought that, oh, I'm very good with CRM,
Mhm.
because what I had to do was like make cold calls, send cold emails, pick up inquiries like for people who were asking for our products and all, to talk to them,
Mhm.
to tell them that these are the pricings, these are our products, and so on and so forth. So this made me also, made me a better communicator, and also made me very confident about my pitching skills. So
Right.
this is where I never had taken up CRM or pitching or anything in past, but
Mhm.
because of this particular activity, I got to even do a lot of CRM and pitching. So today, I can confidently say that I have around 250 to 300 clientele under me,
Mhm.
and out of that, at least 150 people have stuck by me, and I've retained them, where they have come back to me saying that your products are amazing, you have a very good company, we are very happy with your products, really nice and all. And they have still come to me, and they are wanting our products only.
Right.
So this is how, like, my journey has been.
Mhm.
And till date, I mean, I've been doing working with my dad. So later on, when I stopped my intern, I actually got a designation of the marketing head, or
Mhm.
rather marketing director and a business development co-head in my family, because my dad saw me growing. He was very happy, he was very impressed with my work and all. So he's like, now from today, more than an intern, I would like you to officially, join me as a designated employee, so that you are also motivated, you also are able to grow, and obviously your salary also will increase. So
Right.
from like intern, I got to become like what I really wanted,
Mhm.
and till date I have been continuing with that only. So in the entire tenure of 2.5 years, I got to learn a lot about marketing, a lot about business development, a lot about CRM, a lot about sales, and a
Mhm.
lot about, like, say, pitching and communications also. So what I feel is that the 5 or 6 pillars that every college or school talks, that we will
Mhm.
make you study these things and all, that is okay. Like, studies is one thing, and I had learned that in college myself,
Mhm.
but the problem is that how should I execute that now, like
Right.
whatever I have learned. So here in my company, in my own family business, I got to execute that. And today I'm doing pretty well, like enjoying. And obviously in every company there are ups and downs, and
Definitely,
like
definitely. You just spoke about a lot
yeah,
of things that you learned from, your journey so far, and about pitching,
right,
about CRM, about a lot of things.
right,
Is there any particular,
right,
structure that you formulated for yourself, because of which you are able to sustain 150 clients, as you said? So, is there
right,
something that you learned, and now, as you said, there were 6 pillars, and you mentioned them
right,
in
right,
ascending order. Is there a
right,
particular structure that you would like to share with the listeners that they can use as beginners, if they want to
right,
start as a marketing
right.
head or a marketing director?
So
Yeah.
I feel that, firstly, if someone, goes with a structure, or, mugs up ki bhai, we need to do one, two, three, like that, I feel that, somewhere the person will slightly fumble, because, if you're not able to stick to that first step, and you are like, oh my God, I've come to the second step, then how do I go to the first step? So,
Right.
that is where some people may fumble. So I just feel that, be confident, like be you. Like even when I was given the opportunity to make cold calls, obviously the first time I was like that, dad, how will I do it? Like what if, I get to hear, say someone like, speaking badly about me, or like, what if
Right.
I get to hear someone being angry at me, or like, they just keep the phone, what if I get demotivated and all. So he was telling me all those things may happen and may not even happen, but just go out there, just talk and see for yourself how you are able to. So I
Correct.
started cold calling, I started, calling up people, I started like pitching about my products and all, and I realized that I'm not doing bad, like I'm doing good. So
Right.
this is how, like, practice karke I became so good
Mhm.
that today, even in my sleep, I'll be able to like literally tell you about my products, the pricing, and like what we are selling and what the specifications and all are. So it's like literally, like I can just go on, like how you have people in the restaurants narrating the entire menu,
Oh.
especially the South Indian restaurants. Similarly, I can go on, like I don't need any script, nothing. So I just feel that, in structure, definitely your communication skills need to be good. So
Mhm.
obviously, like for any person who's like looking at pitching and all, should be a good communicator, should
Right.
be confident, should
Mhm.
be able to obviously take a lot of negative feedback,
Mhm.
because that is something which is very important, because obviously you don't know who you are talking to.
Correct.
So obviously negative feedback in fact is very positive in another aspect, if you go to see, because the more negative feedback you get, the
Mhm.
better you will be able to grow yourself and your company.
Correct.
So these three, four things, if a person is able to excel, or
Mhm.
at least, become an expert at it, then I think it becomes very easy for anyone to communicate with the other person. And
Right.
I think most importantly, what I feel is over here is networking.
Okay.
Because the more you network, the more people you connect with, and the more people you meet and know, I
Mhm.
think it will become easier for you in future also, because somewhere down the line there is a point where your company is not doing that well, or you need some benefit out of someone. So if you know that person, it becomes very easier, and like the flow becomes very easy when you are able to connect with that person, and you are like, oh, I know you, like, so
Correct.
can we
Right.
have this, can I take a favor from you, or that person taking a favor from you, or something
Mhm.
like that. So yeah, so
Okay,
I think this
so
is what.
yeah, so you've given some amazing nuggets. So one is confidence, the other is communication, the third is
Right,
networking, and the fourth
right,
is to be able to take negative feedback, which is so
yes,
important in this whole thing.
yes,
So, well,
definitely,
coming to WeCare Meditex, and
right,
you were telling me that you can narrate the products in your sleep.
right,
So,
right.
can you just tell me a little bit about that? What do you guys do?
So, WeCare Meditex Private Limited is
Mm-hmm.
basically one amongst the largest manufacturing companies in Maharashtra
Acha.
for surgical and non-woven products. So, when I say surgical products, such like basically the products that are used in the hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the operation theater and by the doctors when they are operating someone. So, right from three-ply mask to N95 mask to PP kits to isolation gowns to buffon caps, coverall, shoe cover, each and everything that requires something to do with doctors, hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
or clinics, or any kind of surgeries. So we manufacture that, and we actually supply them to all the leading hospitals and to private doctors and clinics right now. So this basically started off in the late rather early 90s, not even late 90s, because my dad, as I told you, he basically did his masters in pharmaceuticals.
Pharmacy. Yeah.
And when he had gone to US to study, he landed up getting a job at Pfizer, and
Oh.
he was working as a pharma scientist in at Pfizer basically.
Right.
So his dream was that whatever he's learned over there, to come to India and build a healthcare business or an empire which will be very unique, and bring in new innovations and bringing new technologies in the healthcare sector in India.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, when he came back to India, he was the first one to bring in the concept of the three-ply mask that today what people are wearing all over the world and in India especially.
Okay.
Like today, what three-ply means was basically my dad, Mr. Bimal Jhaveri, to actually come out with the entire concept, to know that what kind of material, fabric, and everything is used in it, and he made a mask. And today, what we are, selling is that. So our hot selling products would be basically three-ply masks,
Mm-hmm.
our gowns, which are our isolation gowns, lab coats, then coverall and shoe cover, N95 mask, and PPE kits also. Basically, what happened was that the moment India announced a lockdown
Mm-hmm.
and India had a lot of COVID cases, there is this organization called Hafkins, which is a
Mm-hmm.
very, very big global organization, which is basically how you have your WHO and UN. It's basically, it looks after the entire healthcare sector only. So
Right.
the head, or basically the coordinator, called up my father and said that we have come to know about your business and we have seen your experience and what you have done earlier. So we
Mm-hmm.
would really like to have you on board and actually make PPE kits and provide them to all our Indian doctors and all. So we were the first one in India to introduce PPE kits.
Right. We're talking about three ply and everything. So when you say that your father,
Right,
came up with this idea, I'm sure there must
right.
be a lot of research that goes behind it, right? So
Yes, a
how
lot.
much time do you spend in research before creating these products?
So he spent quite a few years, like
Mm-hmm.
around 5 6 years in researching, because not only research is required, like R&D is required, a lot of certification is required, a lot of legalities are required, because if you have the certificates, that is what makes you a genuine company and a
Right.
genuine product manufacturer. So a lot even went in legalities, into certifications, like he had to contact ISO, he had to contact
Hmm.
all the other FDAs and what approvals were needed,
Uh-huh.
after which he started getting the product in the market. And today we are selling at a really rapid rate, and like with what margins, because we are already certified now, we are already in the market now, we are
Mhm.
already facing a lot of rivalry right now, obviously, due to a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
of course,
competition.
always.
But exactly, but because WeCare Meditex has its name, and we have done so much in 2.5 years, out of 10 people, at least 8 people will come to us and be like, "Ki, boss, we need your products only. We are not comfortable with anyone else's products."
Of course. I mean, quality over quantity always. And
Definitely.
if
And
you're
this is
telling me
what,
that you've spent 5 years in research and, taking all those
right,
certifications,
right,
of course, there's
right.
quality. So
Exactly. And this
definitely.
is what, like, even our mission and vision statement is, and also our mantra, that definitely quality over quantity. I mean, quantity to hum log बढ़ा ले या कुछ भी कर ले, but definitely quality is something which we
You can't
you know
compromise on,
we
definitely.
emphasize. Exactly, we don't compromise and we emphasize it on. Definitely.
Definitely. Oh, this has been quite interesting, but I would like to move to the photography
Right.
aspect of things.
Yes.
You
Yes.
have, of course, taken care of your managing the business and growing in it,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
I guess photography was a hobby which then you picked up as a side hustle, and then now you're doing it
Yes.
almost full
Yes.
time.
Yes.
How is that
Yes.
going?
So basically, photography was something which I didn't know that I have it in me.
Mhm.
Basically, I used to love clicking pictures, like whether with my the first ever digital camera, like where you have the roll and all that stuff, or even from my phone. So with like since past 2.5 years, I started really liking photography, and since last year, I was like, okay, let me see one thing, that I'm already working in my dad's business, I'm already
Mhm.
doing well, but what could be something which I can use for fast income, for quick income. So
Right.
then I thought to myself that why not make my passion, which grew after, like, I mean, grew over the years
Mhm.
of photography. Like, it actually turned into my passion. So why not make my passion only something where I can commercialize it or even make it into a business? So I
Right.
started off with my page called YJ Clicks on Instagram last
Mhm.
year,
Mhm.
and I started clicking a lot of pictures. I started, like, roaming my city, Bombay, going other, like, to places and all, just clicking pictures and uploading them on Instagram and all. And within a month or two, I saw myself growing up to a level where I landed up getting almost 15,000 followers on my Instagram page within a
Wow.
span of 2 months.
Wow.
Because, like, I just loved clicking pictures, and some of my pictures were really good. Not even, bragging, but were really good.
Mhm.
I do a lot of, say, phone photography as well,
Mhm.
because I love doing phone photography, because today I feel that, phone photography is also one aspect which is required and needed by every client or every upcoming startup, whether it's
Mhm.
food or clothing or anything. But usually startups require a lot of photography, because it's something, like, they want to, put out their
Yeah.
products.
In an
Basically,
aesthetic
they want to
way.
display their products. And
Correct.
today, because of the entire digital revolutionization that has happened, like, e-commerce has come in, Instagram, Facebook and all have been running ads and all. Basically,
Mhm.
because of e-commerce, a lot of stuff what you actually go and buy in store and all has started to come online. So
Yeah.
obviously, in order to, showcase those products, or even make the client or the customers see how it looks and all, you require photography for it.
Correct.
So today, photography is, like, definitely an upcoming, field, where I feel that if a person is really passionate about, should actually look into,
Mhm.
because it will give you a lot of confidence, as well as it will give you a lot of creativity. Like, it will make you think a lot into creativity, and
Mhm.
also will, open your doors to see things in different perspective, and will sharpen your observation.
Correct.
Because when you click a picture,
Mhm.
like, when you actually click a picture, you actually not only just click a picture, you click a picture with a lot of things in your mind, that, what is the perspective of that picture, what is the angle of the picture, how
Mhm.
is the picture, looking, then what is the background pattern, everything, like,
Okay.
basically each and everything, if you go to see, is like, something to click with. So this is how, I, like, kind of developed my passion for photography. And today I'm actually pursuing my advanced photography course also, and I'm already on a verge of finishing my course, and I'll be getting, like, a diploma in photography now, and after that I will be a certified photographer. So I've
Wow.
been doing a lot of freelancing photography, and I'm also planning to now come up with my own webinars and workshops of phone photography, basically.
Right.
Because phone photography is also an upcoming thing, because right now, if you go to see, there are quite a few people who have got good phones with
Mhm.
really good cameras, but then, they don't really know how to use it to their advantage, and how to click, like, super pictures. So,
Correct.
I want to just educate people that how do you click a picture, what are the different angles, what are the different features of every phone, and, to basically make them at least feel good about themselves, that yeah, we are able to take good pictures.
Well, while you're talking about phone photography and all
Right,
these details,
right,
I'm somebody who absolutely doesn't understand angles and patterns and background and everything
right,
that you've been talking about.
right, right,
So
right,
as a layman and somebody who has an Android phone, not a very nice phone,
right,
can you give me
right,
some tips that I can use to click
right,
good
right.
pictures?
So definitely. So
Yeah.
whether you are an iOS, like an iPhone user, or a Samsung user like Android, I think what you should be doing is just firstly, like, keeping, like, basically practicing to keep your hands stable,
Okay.
because that is one thing in photography which is very, very important. Because obviously, if there's continuous movement of your hands or something, you will not get a clear picture. Like, it will be blur, or it will have a lot of disclarity when it comes
Correct.
to, taking a picture. So that is one thing which will be very important in, taking a picture.
Mhm.
Secondly, try to imagine that when you are clicking a picture, try
Mhm.
to see that, what is the purpose of that picture? Like, why are you clicking the picture, and where could you probably use that picture? Because there are many times where obviously like abstract photography is there, but then there's no point just clicking a picture and just putting it out there, because a lot of times if a picture or a photograph has got like a small message or a story behind it, it will make the person who is looking to at the picture feel very, very very
Connected to it, like
I could say
relatable
very,
context, kind of.
yeah, like I mean
Yeah.
very aesthetic, yeah, I mean very curious rather, because when I see a picture, when I see a photograph, I would be like okay, yeah, this is something emotional, this is something exciting, there is some kind of like I could probably feel as if the picture is talking to me.
Right.
Like you should feel that okay, this picture, like a mother and daughter is there, and oh, that's such a nice story, like
But
a
I
real
just had a
story
doubt.
which is,
You were
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about mother and daughter. Usually, what happens when you talk about a story, it's mostly
right,
when there are people involved or humans involved, and there's emotion coming out of it.
right,
But when it comes to
right,
objects or
right,
trees or plants, how do you find a story
right.
in that?
I mean, see, exactly. Like even in that case, now suppose if you're like again plants or something, or like trees, or even
Right.
nature for that matter, we all know that Mother Nature. Like
Mhm.
you literally, there are people when you surround yourself with plants, trees, and all, you feel that they are also talking to you. They are echoing. So
Mhm.
something like that. They say, suppose if you are clicking a picture of a tree, like a
Mhm.
photograph of a tree. So probably wait for that right time when you feel that there is some bird or something just getting out of the nest or
Oh,
something like that, and that could be, so the mother, I mean the basically the for a bird, the tree is the house, right? Because that's where they
correct.
build their nest and they keep their baby eggs over there. So for them it becomes a motherly figure, a tree
Right.
becomes a
Right.
motherly figure for them. So if I look at a tree and like if there's a shot that is being clicked by someone, a photographer, that bird just went out of that
Just
tree,
flew
like
out of
flew
the
off.
branches. Yeah.
That's
So it
how,
has a
like
different
I'm
story.
feeling the tree. So that's how you'll be able to narrate a story through a photograph.
Wow. So,
Wow.
you spoke about photography and stories and everything. So, is there any particular genre of photography that you like? Maybe newborn or still photography. What is the one that you like the most?
I do like a lot of genres. Like, I mean, photography in general is vast. So obviously, a photographer needs to, bifurcate himself or herself into a way where, you need to say at least you should have a kind of niche.
Right.
So in my case, I just don't have one niche. I love doing a lot of, like, say, I have several niches, but I love doing a lot of street photography,
Mhm.
a lot of portrait photography, a lot of food photography, product photography, a lot of abstract photography and nature photography, to be precise. So basically
It's
I
not
have like
precise. It is not precise. So right now
I
it's
am doing,
generic and you're still figuring it out. Yeah.
yeah, right. But again, there is a lot in photography. You name the thing and
Yeah.
that can be termed into photography. But these are like the six niches that I am really good
Right.
with, and I feel that I can do justice to this. And product photography is like one thing which I want to make it into commercial, because it will help me in my business, because
Mhm.
we also have products that
Yeah, yeah,
we need to put into a catalog
correct.
on our website and other marketplaces. And secondly, there is a huge demand for product photographers in the market right now, whenever you go to even say networking events or wherever, because everyone is wanting to put their product up on these e-commerce platforms and marketplaces. So
Mhm.
obviously for that you require someone to be at least decent enough to click a picture of your product, and then they are able to put it up on
True.
their website or marketplace. So I feel that product photography and portrait photography, to be very, very precise, are like my expertise, and I want to really do, because
Okay.
in portrait it's very, in portrait it's obviously it is difficult,
Mhm.
but it is really say exciting to
Yeah.
even show what emotions the person is going, because when you say portrait it's only the face. So a
Mhm.
lot is to do with the face, and you need to even tell the client or the model that this is how you need to bring in expressions, this is how I want it to look, or so you get to know a lot about expressions also, and you
Right.
also get to know a lot about how the person will react and how the person will give a shot. So
Hmm.
portrait and
Product
product,
photography right now. Yeah.
and definitely let's say nature slash street, because
Yeah.
if you see a lot on my page, which is called YJ Clicks on
Hmm.
Instagram, I have a lot of nature photography because I love just going to places
Hmm.
and click any picture like that, and depict that udhar I had gone, and what was the story behind that, or like why did I click a picture. So even
Right.
travel photography or that matter. So like in general, if someone who wants to become a photographer, I feel that a lot of doors also open for that person, because
Hmm.
you become like you get a chance to explore yourself by
Hmm.
traveling at a lot of places, like you, because if you're just a travel photographer, you get to obviously explore places, you get to travel, meet new
Hmm.
people, meet new cultures. Secondly,
Right.
if you are into product photography, you get to have a lot of clientele, because nowadays every second person is on e-commerce platforms, and they're requiring for
True.
hiring photographers and all, so that's thing. Thirdly, like say if you're a food photographer, and if
Hmm.
you are a foodie also, like that's exactly a like cherry on the cake, so if you're a foodie, it becomes very easy for you to go to good places, and give reviews about that place, click good pictures, put it up on these reviewing platforms, and to like come, or rather to feature yourself into these food photography magazines, or these food like the restaurants
Right,
and
a
all that.
lot of places. Like, yeah, definitely, it's all up and coming. But I have one question for
Exactly.
you. You said that within 2 months you were able to get a lot of followers on your page, and you were able to monetize it.
Right.
Now, assuming there's somebody who is,
Right.
you have definitely picked up a lot of confidence from your work, and now you've moved on to taken that confidence into photography as well. But there are people
Right.
who have just started out not
Right.
so confident. What tips would you give them as to how should they pitch their portfolio? Is there any particular sequence that they should follow to be able to monetize their work?
Sure. So I feel that again here also just go all out. Like don't think about that what would be the end outcome or something. If you are into photography, I think firstly it's very important for you to display your photographs somewhere. Like
Right.
even if you have clicked, if they are in the raw form or they are not all that great, you need to put out your pictures on either some kind of social media platform in order for other people to see, and obviously to recognize you that, oh, you are a upcoming photographer, or you are a photographer, or your line is photography. So first thing is that in order, because you're obviously clicking something, so you need to
Mhm.
showcase. So in order to obviously bring yourself there, like to show yourself there, be out
Mhm.
there, you need to create a page. Then
Right.
secondly, once you have your page, start liking other people's pictures, start commenting on their pictures, and also tell them to comment and like your picture. Like it's like a barter system: share, like, comment, like how it goes, like how people
Yeah.
usually do. So if you do that, like for instance, if I do it for you, you will also like it, you will do the same for me, and
Correct.
this is completely free, so you shouldn't hesitate here.
Mhm.
Then thirdly, try to obviously you will not get DMs in your first go or something, or someone would want to collaborate with you or something.
Mhm.
So in that case, you rather be the bigger person, and like wherever you find, or whoever you find has got more followers, and you have looked at their page, they are doing really well and all, probably DM them, or like be behind them that, oh hi, can we collaborate, or can we do something together, or can we
Mhm.
like do any kind of activity together, can we go out and click something and then we can collaborate. Because this will what will happen is that in this process, a, you will get a good connection, and b,
Mhm.
you will get to know the person also, and see, you will be able to get a collab also with you. So right now, because of, you know, a lot of algorithm changes on
Right.
Instagram and other social media platforms, a lot of collaborations and all are happening. So because of collaborations, if a person who's new and all is also able to come up because of the other person's
Yeah.
popularity
Followers.
and
Right.
exactly.
Oh,
So
that's quite interesting. Yeah, continue.
so this is how I went about when I started my page. Obviously, even in my, I remember my first 2-3 pictures, I got a little demotivated because I was like, yeah, 15 likes I'm getting. Yeah, you know, how should I grow? Like only 20 likes. Like I was just in double figure, and that also below 30, not even like 50, 40 or
Yeah.
something. And then suddenly I started like say collaborating. I started getting myself recognized. I started commenting, liking, and all that stuff. I think towards my first month, only in the half month, or rather towards the end of my starting, I started getting like almost, I started touching 50 likes and, you know, 60 likes,
Wow.
and I started getting followers and all. That motivated me. It helped me to grow. I was like, oh nice, I think I'm doing something good, and not, let me click more pictures, let me, you know, comment more, let me like talk to people more, DM more and all. And this is how I started. So my first picture, when it hit 3 figures, like 100, and I was aesthetic, like I was like, you know, I was so excited, and you
I
know, like
know.
I'm like, I've hit 100 likes after such a long time, after so much of efforts and all that. So it was really good, like the feeling was really good. And after which, I obviously like, then it was a non, like a no stop
It's like
thing
a
for me. Like I
snowballing effect, right? Once it starts, then it continuously rolls.
So I
Yeah.
started growing, and now today I have done like several collaborations. I have been featured in so many of Mumbai photography, you know,
Wow.
pages on Instagram. Like you
Right.
have Mumbai Uncensored, you have Unseen Mumbai, you have like there are several pages right now to, you know, actually pen down if I have to. So, and I also like 2-3 things more I would like to add here is that the hashtag game is very important when you are putting out a picture,
Mhm.
because with the hashtags, you know, many people search you with the hashtags also. So if your
Right.
hashtags are on point, and if you max out your hashtags, I think you will be able to do much better, because algorithms are changing every now and then. So
Mhm.
hashtag game is very important. You know, collaborations are very important. Commenting, liking, and sharing is very important. Obviously now the option is there to even save.
Hmm.
So at times when people save your, you know,
Work.
either
Yeah.
picture or post your work, you get more engagement.
Hmm.
So obviously, like saving is something which is difficult, because obviously unless you are a content creator, no one would save your
Correct.
post. Like, so I
As
am
long
also
as you're
looking.
adding value, then people mostly save.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now I'm also looking at, you know, that aspect where in terms of my photography only, how can I, you know, help people in saving my posts. So,
Hmm.
you know, probably have like coming out with content where I'm sharing some tips and tricks regarding photography, sharing couple of my experience about photography, then, you
Mhm.
know, like them a list of say equipments and all what you require for photography and all that stuff. So I'm looking at a little bit of now in the content region, also in the
Yeah.
content aspect of photography. So
Oh,
these
okay.
are the things, you know, that I'm using to grow myself, and this is how I was able to at least, you know, get to a mark of at least 14-15 thousand within 2-3 months, like
Wow.
followers.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing this. I'm sure my listeners are going to benefit from this.
Thank you.
Coming to almost the final question. So, any message that you would like to give my listeners, based on your experience as an entrepreneur and as your experience as a photographer?
So I feel that, see, today's world has become very competitive,
Mhm.
and it's very difficult to sustain and survive in today's world with so much of competition and so many, you know, players coming in the market. We have seen so many startups come up in our uh, country right now with you know, such good IITians and you know, engineers and all that coming up. So definitely there is a lot to do when it comes to being an entrepreneur or anything. So I just feel that, you know, you should have that will and that never give up attitude to, you know, sustain yourself. I mean, obviously you will feel down, you will be demotivated, you will have ups and downs and all, but just have the will and that never give up attitude, and I think you will be able to do really well. And somewhere I feel that if you're passionate about something, please do take it up, because I feel that passion will make you do the work 100 times more than what you actually don't want to do. Like if you are definitely dedicated towards your work, you will give 100%, that I assure. But if you're passionate about something or about that work, you will give 101%.
Yeah.
So that 1% is for your passion. So, you know, this is what I really feel that, you know, people should you know, take away from what I have done
Mhm.
or my experience have been. And I always believe in this one thing, that, you know, if you strive and if you thrive, which equals to survive. So if you are
Oh.
able to strive
And
and, you know,
thrive.
yeah, exactly, and plus thrive is equal to, like, you know,
Oh my God.
survive.
So we got a philosophy lesson. We got lessons about quality and quantity and about hustling as much as possible,
Yes,
as long as you
definitely,
love your passion.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think that today, the people in our late 20s should definitely look at, you know, side hustles, because it's an
No
upcoming
option.
field,
Yeah.
and, you know, there are many other things that are coming up now, like trends are changing. So I feel that, you know, a side hustle is always good, because whether or not you are in your family business or you're a professional or you're, you know, working under someone or for an MNC, I feel a side hustle is something which will give you quick money and will make you feel good about yourself, because side hustle is something which can actually turn into your passion, like what I
It
have
does.
done,
Yeah.
like freelance photography and content writing. So, you know, this is where my side hustle became passion, or rather passion became my side hustle. And I'm already doing like good for myself and my family business, so that is there. But I feel that it's very important to have a side hustle, or at least very important to have some kind of goal and vision for yourself, because
True.
obviously you only have to, you know, seek your future, you only have
Definitely.
to envision your future, no one else will. So every opportunity, try to grab it
Mhm.
and go with the flow, I feel.
I agree.
So this is what,
I
how
think
I
it's
would
mostly because
follow.
of COVID, because you've realized that, before people used to say that if you're a jack of all trades, it's not a good thing. It's good to specialize in something. But
Right,
I guess if you are
right,
more
right, right,
flexible and you're able to, branch out into different directions right
right,
now, that is more important in this current scenario.
right, right,
Things might
right,
change definitely in the future. Who knows?
right,
But right now, yes, it's
right,
somehow
right, right.
important to have a side hustle, as you said. Coming to the final question, this is something this that is why it's called unsettling. So,
Right.
what does the phrase "being settled" mean to you, beta?
I will never settle, firstly, as
Okay.
you know, how you have the OnePlus company that always says that never settle. So I feel that, you know, I go with that phrase never settle, because always keep hustling. You are
Yeah.
definitely going to get opportunities. God is going to open quite a few doors for you. If one shuts, you have something else opening up for you. So, you know, never, you know, rather like never settle, I would say. And even if you feel a little content in yourself, if you want to settle, do settle, but always in your mind have that keep, you want to do something, you know, big, you want to do something for yourself, you want to do something or the other. Because if you have your mind running again and again, if you have your brain stuck at one thing or even at multiple things, something or the other will definitely, you know, happen.
Yeah.
So I just feel that, you know, definitely there will be a point even in my life where I will settle, like definitely I will settle. But, you know, settling doesn't only mean कि हाँ भाई, मतलब, you know, at this age 28 29 हो गया, शादी कर लो, ये कर लो, हो गया, and उसके बाद, you know, retirement is like 50. That is what, you know, I've learned from my dad, that today my dad is almost 58 years old
Mhm.
and he's still working. He's a workaholic. He's like, I asked that one day I was just sitting over dinner. I'm like, Dad, when are you going to retire? Like, I want to take your place. Yeah, come on. He's like, you are definitely going to take my place and I'm going to give you everything, but I'm never going to retire or I'm never going
Right.
to settle. Like, I'll be like, you know, peaches say I'll be poking you that, you know, I'm working with you and all that stuff. So this is what, you
Nice.
know, I'm like, he never settle. in life, I feel, just keep on going on and on and on. And the day when you know that you are done completely with everything, that's the time when you, like, settle. So
Okay.
like I idealize Virat Kohli a lot. Like he's one of my biggest inspirations, and I love cricket, and he's like
Okay.
my idol. So I remember in one interview or at a press conference, Virat Kohli had he was asked that if you're not in form, then when are you going to quit cricket, or like why don't you take a break? And he just said that the day I feel that I'm completely done with cricket and I am not able to lift my bat or rather be on the field, that day I will completely go off cricket and you'll never
Oh,
see me on field again. So I
okay.
just feel that, stay hungry, stay foolish, and just keep on going on.
Okay, done, done. So we will take this away as long as we can pick up our bats and set up our mics. We will keep going. And thank you
Definitely.
so much. I'm also going to get in touch with OnePlus. If they are promoting Unsettling, then why can't they come on the podcast and
Yes.
sponsor me? So I'll definitely
Definitely.
do that. Thank you so
Definitely.
much, Yash, for coming on this podcast. It was
Thank you
wonderful
so much.
talking to you and understanding about your business and photography.
Hey,
So thank
thank you
you.
so much. Thank you for having me and actually, making me showcase what I am doing today. I'm sure people would get inspired, or even if the people who want to get inspired hear me out and, begin their family business journey or their freelancing journey. And even if they want to get into photography or, whatever. So I just want to inspire people and, like make this world a better living place for all of us.
I'm sure you've inspired a lot of people and you've given so many tips that they can follow. So
Right.
definitely a plus. And I would like to tell my listeners that he has a page. I think he's mentioned it, YJ Clicks. You can go follow him there and you can always get in touch with him. You can ask for collaborations and tips on
Yes,
hashtags as
yes,
well. He will
yes.
always be available. So thank
Available.
you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you
Yash.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.